Captain America, the living legend. Stan Lee presents The Living Legend, created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. In the latter days of 1940, as the entire world teetered on the brink of global war, there arose a man unlike any other. A man of courage and strength and principle, a man of peace, caught up in a war against a menace which threatened to destroy freedom and quash liberty. A man who personified truth and justice in all the hopes of mankind. They called him Captain America. This is his story. June 1941, Washington, D.C. In the Oval Office of the White House, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt has canceled all appointments, forcing congressmen and VIPs alike to wait while he receives a very nondiscreet visitor, a young courier from G2, the intelligence arm of the Department of the Army. Well, son, let's get on with it. I have the editor of the Washington Post cooling his heels outside, and I'm sure I'll hear about it in tomorrow's headlines. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Oh, that's all right. I've developed a fairly thick skin as far as bad press is concerned. This is it? Yes, sir. As per your request, this is the full and complete possession on Operation Rebirth. You know, son, sometimes I despair. This was one of the most ambitious top-secret projects in the nation's history, and it came to such a tragic end, but I wanted to learn more about Rebirth's test subject, this young lad, Steve Rogers. I see here that he grew up on the Lower East Side of New York City. Evidently, much of his youth was spent trying to help his family make ends meet during the depths of the Depression. Oh, I see. His father died when he was still a child, and his mother had to struggle just to keep her son and herself fed. Still, despite their deprivation, Steve kept up with his schooling and became a voracious reader, especially of fantasy. Given the state of his reality, I can well understand why. It seems that the boy also had a natural talent for art, but he kept his love of art and of books a secret to avoid taunts and beatings at the hands of his peers. As the Depression wore on, times became increasingly difficult for the Rogers' household. Sarah Rogers took in laundry and taxed herself to the limit to provide for her son. But time and hardship eventually took its toll, and Stephen entered his late teens. His mother passed on, a victim of pneumonia. Out on his own, young Rogers managed to find a cheap boarding house and took a job as a delivery boy. It was not an easy life, nor a very good one, but somehow he survived. And then one day, while trying to escape into the fantasy world of the movies, Steve Rogers encountered an even harsher reality. In newsreel footage of the Nazi war machine in its relentless march across a war-torn Europe, those newsreels, it's awful. Awful. It's as if half the world has gone mad. If the Nazis aren't stopped soon, there won't be a free man left alive anywhere. I have to do something. I have to. However, son, are you sure you've been classified 1A? No, sir, they wouldn't draft me. That's why I'm volunteering. I hate war and senseless bloodshed, but I know what the Nazis are doing in Europe. I'm just a matter of time before the United States is involved, and I can't stay behind while others do the fighting. I'm sorry, son, but you're much too frail for military service. But you just have to pass me. There must be something I can do. I couldn't help overhearing, son. I'm General Phillips. Are you really serious about wanting to take part in the big picture? I am, sir. I'll do anything. Anything. It must have been kismet. In Steve Rogers, General Phillips had found the ideal test subject for Operation Rebirth. Within minutes, Rogers was on a plane speeding towards Washington, and as night fell, he was taken to a small curio shop on a little-known Capitol side street. I can well imagine the surprise Rogers felt upon entering that moldering old storefront. Agents L7 and X9 reporting Agent R. The password is Eagle. We have the visitor with us. Halt. Identify yourself, Sir Die. Oh, whoops. Enter and lock the door behind you. I don't get it. How can such an important project be housed in a small shop like this? Nothing I've seen so far seems to make sense. In work such as ours, things are seldom what they seem. Why? You're not. That is, I thought. Forgive the theatrics. I assure you they are quite necessary. It must have been a night full of surprises for a young visitor as Agent R stood guard. Rogers was conducted up a narrow flight of stairs through a hidden doorway and into one of the most advanced biochemical laboratories in the free world. It's amazing, like something out of H.G. Wells. Get used to it, Rogers. You're going to be spending some time here. And then, welcome to Operation Rebirth, Mr. Rogers. I'm Dr. Anderson, the Director of Projects, and this is our head scientist, Professor Reinstein. Reinstein? Why, that's Dr. Abraham Erskine, the famous biochemist. But I thought he died last spring in an auto crash. That is what we wanted the world to believe, my boy. It looks like the security boys were right to keep you under wraps, Abraham. Your face is too recognizable. The Reinstein code name didn't fool young Rogers for a minute. Stephen, we have to level with you. Our experiment might give you a strong new body, but it might kill you. I'm willing to face those consequences, sir. Very well, then. We shall begin our work at once. Over the next few weeks, Rogers was put through a grueling series of tests to determine the exact limits of his physical abilities while Dr. Erskine worked on his secret tissue-building serum. And then, that day arrived when Anderson burst in on the General and myself with the news. The chemical is perfected, gentlemen, and I suggest that we proceed at once. Then the time has come at last. There is nothing more to be said. I wish you all Godspeed. Changing to civilian clothing, General Phillips and Under Secretary Sims were conducted to the hidden laboratory by Dr. Anderson himself. And when they arrived, a man whose credentials identified him as Special Agent Clemson was already there, waiting. And while the dignitaries assembled in the observation chamber 2 rooms away, Dr. Erskine was making some final preparations. Stephen, my boy, once I inject you with the dilute solution of my serum, there can be no turning back. I would not blame you if you wish to back out of this. Or out now. This could cost your life. Your life. Sir, good men from Poland to Great Britain have been putting their lives on the line. Can I do any less? Let's get on with it. I believe you are the bravest young man I have ever met. This will sting for a moment, then you will feel a slight dizziness. Then Erskine led his subject into the main laboratory. Gentlemen, this distinguished young volunteer has already been injected with my secret serum. He's now ready to take the oral form of the compound. You must drink this quickly before the chemicals lose their potency. Good luck, my boy. Gentlemen, if we have Aaron Rodgers, we'll be dead within seconds, for he is drinking the strongest chemical potion yet created by man. But if we succeed, if he lives, he will be the first man of an army of fighting men such as the world has never seen. His reflexes, his physical condition will be second to none, and his courage, well, his courage has already been proven. Now you shall see how I speed up the serum's process, and how it will affect Rogers' body tissue. Observe, I am bombarding his body with potent, invisible Vita rays. Once the process is completed, the frail young man who stood before you will be frail and sickly no longer. Instead, his every body cell will surge with new power and vigor and vitality. Yar! Everything is spinning around. I feel like I'm blacking out. But I must hang on. It's working. Don't give up, son. Hold on. This is the moment of crisis. You must survive it. I can feel the power surging through me. My body's getting larger, stronger. It's as if millions of cells were forming at incredible speed. In a matter of minutes, I've actually become a new man. I had hoped it would work, but I never imagined it would be like this. It's a miracle. Yes, a miracle of science. Think what this will mean to our nation. Think of what can one day mean to the world. My serum will virtually wipe out disease, weakness, infirmity. Stephen, you have become nearly a perfect human being. Anderson, this is phenomenal. We must get the serum mass-produced at once. But then, in the midst of success, tragedy struck. No, Erskine and his accursed experiment shall both die in that room. None shall live to oppose the Führer's Third Reich. Stephen, my formula, my process can never be totally duplicated. But you still live. You must always be worthy. Dr. Erskine, it's too late. He's gone. Crash! You're the one who did this. You're the one who fired the shot. I was to be the first, but now there are none but me to perpetuate Dr. Erskine's dream. As long as I live, I'll dedicate myself to the cause of freedom, to destroy the enemies of liberty. Bah! Like all freedom-loving fools, you only talk while Nazis act. Now you shall share the doctor's fate. No, you'll not stop me now. I shall fight. I must fight for all those who might have been. In a matter of minutes, the gleaming hope of Operation Rebirth came to an abrupt end. The secret of the super soldier's serum apparently died with Dr. Erskine, who had never committed the full formula to paper. As for Agent Clemson, a man we later identify as Nazi assassin Heinz Kruger, he too paid the final price. Knocked into the Vita-Ray's device's electrical omniverter power source by Rogers' punch, he scrambled to free himself. And in doing so, he grabbed hold of the omniverter's high-voltage terminals and was instantly electrocuted. The super soldier serum worked. Rogers was living proof of that. But we could never produce another man like him. And so ended our bold experiment. The world is poor for the loss of Abraham Erskine. Yes, sir, but he did leave us for an important legacy. In the reborn Steve Rogers, as you know, acting upon General Phillips's advisement, Rogers became the cornerstone of Project Super Soldier, as this dossier shows, Mr. President. Shortly after Dr. Erskine's tragic death, Rogers was put into a special training program to teach him how to best use his new body. For 3 months, he worked out with the greatest boxers, wrestlers, bodybuilders, and gymnasts the free world had to offer. Whatever time not spent in physical training was spent in learning the fine points of military strategy and tactics. This was personally supervised by General Phillips. And then in March of this year, Well, Steve, I suppose you've been wondering just what we've had in mind for you. What with all of this training. I assume that you were grooming me for some sort of secret special mission, sir. Yes, a very special mission, you see. The Nazis have a special agent who is currently spreading terror across the face of Europe. He's called the Red Skull, and it's rumored that some members of the Nazi High Command fear him even more than they do Hitler. The skull has come to personify the evil of Nazism. We desperately need an agent who is his opposite, a man who will be a living symbol of life and liberty. And you want me to be that man? Yes, Steve, we do. In this package, you'll find a uniform specially designed for you. Try it on. I realize that this is an awesome responsibility, Steve. You're being asked to represent America to both her people and the world. But we need you to inspire the public, to give them hope through the dark days that lie ahead. Then I pray that I'm equal to the task, General. This land of ours may have seen some hard times, and maybe it hasn't always lived up to the promise of the Founding Fathers, but America at its best has always stood for the rights of man and against the rule of tyrants. And if America needs a man to stand for her principles, to battle the forces of tyranny, then as God is my witness, I shall be that man. Rogers got his first chance to live up to that pledge just 3 nights later when, on a deserted back road in the Maryland countryside, as high-ranking colonel was being driven to a top secret military installation, blam, whoop, 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 whoop. "It's a blowout, sir. I'll get it changed as soon as, huh? The roadway's been covered with some sort of spiked barbs. Hold it right there, soldier. One move and you won't live to see the day of dawn. Huh? Bah! Do not waste your time with the enlisted man. Yes, silence him and seize the colonel. He is the one we want." "Wait a minute, you can't..." "What?" "Do not tell us what we cannot do. You are coming with us, Colonel Henson. The fatherland wishes to learn what you know." "Hey, that noise, what?" "You're not taking anyone anywhere, Nazi. Mein Gott. Vroom." Rogers' report on that encounter was quite modest, but from the statement which was later submitted by Colonel Henson, it sounds like our super soldier tore into those fifth columnists like a one-man army. Scream, vroom! "Drop that Tommy gun, mister, drop it." "You fellas don't listen very well, do you? If you're not going to drop the gun, I'll have to drop you. Wunk. Looks like that tip which Army intelligence received about a possible attempt to kidnap Colonel Henson was on the up and up after all. For the last several miles, I'd thought this evening was going to yield me nothing more than a nice ride in the air. It's not possible. The man isn't human. Yunk. That's where you're wrong. I'm totally human, but I'm fighting for a cause, a dream, and that makes all the difference. Verdamn, fool. We fight for a cause as well, the cause of the Third Reich. Yes, but your cause isn't a dream, it's a nightmare. Buddha, Buddha. Ding, ding. And don't flatter yourself by thinking that you can stop me with that chattergun. It won't do you any more good than it did your partner. Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. Now, where's that leader of yours? No, he mustn't capture me. I must get back to Bund headquarters and report this to my superiors. You're not going anywhere, Fritz. What? You're not causing any more trouble tonight. Wow. Yeesh. That was the most amazing display of hand-to-hand combat I've ever seen. Thank you, sir, but I was just doing my job, keeping you and the nation safe. Very certainly do your job very well. You certainly do your job very well, son, but who in the blazes are you? Who I am doesn't matter, sir, but you can call me Captain America. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think G2 will want to ask this gentleman some questions. Colonel, who was that masked man? Like he said, Corporal, it doesn't matter. 24 hours later, alarmed by the failure of their attack squad to report, and major Nazi Bund leaders met in a secluded New York warehouse. With a recent arrival from overseas, the Fuhrer will not be pleased by this failure. We quite understand here, Kleinschmidt. We can't figure out what went wrong. However, we heard some rumors of a new government super agent crash. And here's where those rumors get confirmed. Stop him. He's only one man. Bah, wham. You Bundas disgust me. You're native-born Americans. Most of you. Yet, you'd sell out your own country to the most horrific tyrant ever to walk the earth. I'll hold him. Crack. Nobody holds Captain America, especially when I've got my eyes set on a goal. You, Mr. Nazi agent. Nobody move. This is the FBI. Blazes McCloskey. I figured we'd have a real battle on our hands, but looks like Cap's taking most of the fight out of him. Open up the doors and tell O'Brien to bring the wagon around. No, wait. The head Bund leader is still running around free. No good. The federal boys can't hear me. There are too many echoes in this warehouse. Got to get to him before he can escape at the double doors. Well, I'm in luck. In his panic, he ran past a possible escape route. I'm calling a halt to this before some innocent bystander gets hurt. Come on, mister. All you can do now is surrender. Nothing in that pile of scrap metal will help you. What? You think so, do you? What's going on in here? The younger newspaper man's shout might have distracted another man, but not Captain America, however. The minions of the Third Reich shall never fall. The Reich shall last 1,000 years. Hail Hitler. He telegraphed that swing by a mile. It was easy to duck, but he caught one of the wingtips of my mask, knocked it ajar. Hey, you with the mask, hold it. Sorry, no time for that now. That was close. It wouldn't do for my face to be photographed. That would destroy my effectiveness as an anonymous symbol. I have to give some thought to redesigning my mask so this can't happen again. This is the last of them, Agent McCloskey. Thanks for the help, Cap. If we had a few more agents like you, we could reduce espionage by a third. The information gathered in that raid dealt a severe blow to Nazi fifth column activities, Mr. President, and helped Captain America to shut down a number of spy rings. It's all there in the dossier. Marvelous. I'm gratified to see that the activities of our captain have been so well documented. This entry, for example, dealing with the attempted theft of a new bomb site from the Grumman aircraft plant. 3 Axis agents had gained entry disguised as armed forces personnel. But you might have fooled those guards at the gate, but you don't fool me, Major. Even if I hadn't been tailing your little crew for these past 3 hours, those shoes you're wearing would have been a dead giveaway. They're hardly regulation footwear. As for these phony aids of yours, bam, wood. In less than a minute, Captain America had ended all enemy resistance and disappeared into the night, leaving 3 bedraggled spies behind for the military police to cart away. 2 weeks later, at another important installation, quickly before anyone sees you. Do not worry, my friend. By the time anyone is around to see anything, it will be too late. Very well. And here, hurry. Seconds later, there are the explosive charges in place. When the assembly lines start to run tomorrow, this entire factory will be leveled. Ha ha ha. Yes, what is it? And finally, just last week, following information gathered by the FBI and G2, Captain America stopped one of the most incredible plots ever set in motion against this nation in peacetime. The attempted destruction of Boulder Dam. Disguised as maintenance men, 3 sabotagers were caught red-handed setting high explosive charges in the mighty turbine generators of the dam's hydroelectric plant. Against America's super soldier, they never had a chance. Wham! Were it not for Captain America, this nation would have lost an important source of water and electrical power. We owe that man a great deal. And I have little doubt that before the international affairs of man are once again put in order, we will be even more in his debt. Well, when do I get to meet our soldier? Right away, sir. Captain, the door to the Oval Office swings wide, and good morning, Mr. President. This is a great honor. Your fireside chats on the radio have been an inspiration to us all. Thank you, son, but I dare say I'm not the only one present in this office who's been an inspiration. As a matter of fact, I've read more about you in the papers lately than I have about me. Good thing this isn't an election year, huh? I see that Army ordinance has finally made the alterations in your uniform. Yes, sir, Mr. President. I won't have to worry about losing my mask in a battle any longer. And added duralumin chainmail provides excellent protection for my neck. Yes, well, I have another little addition for your battle gear. A new shield. It's magnificent. It's much lighter than my old shield, and with its discus shape, it'll be able to hurl twice as far. It should be as effective an offensive weapon as a defensive one. I assume it's as bulletproof as my old shield, even more so. In fact, I'm told that the metal in the shield has some incredible properties. If only the metallurgical accident which produced it could be duplicated. But this is no time for recriminations. Captain, are you ready for the second phase of Project Super Soldier? Sir, I'm ready for anything. Splendid. The Army has devised a plan to enable you to move about in secret, but still be close by. Special missions. We're going to give you a cover identity. July 1941, Camp Lehigh. Steve Rogers, now Private Steve Rogers, adjusts to the routine of Army boot camp. Rogers, you meathead, is that the only position you know? No, sir, what position do you want? No talking at attention, I do the talking now. Parade rest. Ow, not my foot, you. Uh-oh. Why? Why of all the sergeants in this man's army did I get stuck with a fumble butt like you? Gee, I don't know, Sarge, Shut up. Just then, hey Sarge, Colonel Feeney wants to see you, over at HQ. Yeah, thanks Barnes. You get off lucky this time, Rogers. Duffy is really an alright Joe. I hate to give him a hard time, but the Pentagon wants me to play the clumsy recruit so no one will suspect me of being Captain America. I'd stay out of his way for a while, Steve. He's gonna be even madder when he finds out there ain't no Colonel Feeney. What? There isn't? Nah, I just figured you could use a breather from that chewing out, and he won't pick on me. Heck, ever since my old man died in basic training and I was adopted as camp mascot, I can get away with just about anything. Well, I appreciate the favor, Bucky. Come on, I'll buy you a Coke at the PX. Gee, thanks, Steve. Say, did you read the latest about Captain America? No, what's he up to now? He broke up another nest of Nazi spies. Boy, wouldn't it be great to have a guy like him around. Who needs him, Buck? You've got me, haven't you? What a guy. You're always clowning, Steve. But one night, just a few months later, young James Buchanan Barnes stumbled across one of his nation's most guarded secrets and changed his life for all time. Pledging to keep Steve's secret, Bucky underwent months of intensive training, becoming Cap's partner in the war against tyranny. Then came that awful day, December 7th, 1941, and America was truly at war. Before the year ended, Cap and Bucky found themselves allied with a group of powerful beings, a super team which Winston Churchill dubbed the Invaders. For 4 incredible years, they battled the Nazi menace in all of its bizarre forms. Then, in the war's final days, tragedy struck again while trying to stop a runaway experimental drone plane. Cap and Bucky were caught on the speeding craft as it headed out over the North Atlantic. Suddenly, the plane exploded. Bucky was killed instantly, but Cap was thrown clear off the explosion, plunging into the icy Arctic waters. There, through a freak accident, he was frozen into a state of suspended animation. Decades passed, and finally Cap's body was found by a new super team which had come into being, a team called the Avengers. They viewed their find with awe, for many of the Avengers had found inspiration in the history of making exploits of this red, white, and blue legend, and they were even more awed to discover that Cap was not dead. The legend lived, and he soon took his place among them, oftentimes as leader. But still, even as an Avenger, he was a man decades out of time, and in the months that followed, Steve Rogers strove to find a place for himself in this brave new world. He strove and searched and succeeded. Today, the skies are still dark, and dawn is many hours away from New York City. Here in this apartment house at 569 Lehman Place in Brooklyn Heights, all is silent, as a 4th-floor window is suddenly opened from the outside. By a red gauntlet hand, Captain America has come home. What a day am I beat. I could really use a full night's sleep, but as Steve Rogers, I have a set of ad storyboards to finish by morning. Deadlines are the bane of freelance artist life. But I have to get the work done. I gave my word I'd turn it in on time. I'll just turn on the tube for a little background noise, and here are the final news headlines. Trouble continues in the Mideast at this hour. The Wall Street Index was off another 5 points today. Let's see, where do I start? Boy, it's so hard at times living two lives, and I'm so tired. Is it really worth it? And 5,000 lives were saved tonight when Captain America averted a panic at Madison Square Garden. This now completes our broadcast day. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? It's worth it, and the legend still lives on, and the dream never ends.